Hey, so for my advocacy project, I have chosen to talk about the importance of financial literacy for high school students. I personally went to a high school where that was not an important topic, not discussed, and I feel like it led to a lot of uncertainties in my adult years. So, the article that I chose to base my information off of for the speech is from the National Association of State Boards of Education. It's an article called Advancing High School Literacy by Joseph Hedger. So, this article really broke down steps that they're currently trying to take, why those steps may not be working, and kind of the cause and effects of financial illiteracy in America. So, let's just start by framing the problem in general. There is a literacy gap that is honestly larger than anything I would have guessed. Only 49% of US adults demonstrated financial literacy in 2025 on a survey. That's less than half of Americans showing the adequate knowledge needed to perform daily activities as an adult. So, these people with the lower scores are twice as likely to be debt constrained and 5 times more likely to lack emergency savings. And this unfortunate lack of financial literacy does lead to individuals spending 20 plus hours a week worrying about money. So, this just goes to show that it's not only about money. That's not the only negative aspect of this problem. It's also a mental health issue. And it is a risk to people's well-being at this point. So I firmly believe that schools should require financial literacy education because these students graduate without basic skills needed to manage money, avoid debt, and just build a stable future in general. So let's go from sort of the problem to a solution side of things, but studies do show that graduation requirements in financial literacy are directly tied to a higher credit score in the future and lower delinquency rates, which are both like very huge issues in America right now. So there was a quote in the article from the National Association of State Boards of Education called Advancing High School Literacy by Joseph Hedger, and the quote itself is actually from Ioannis Asikis, and it simply says that students feel thrown into adulthood without knowing the basics. A course acts as a safety net before they make high-stake mistakes with student loans or credit cards. So this literacy, when it is given to the students, can directly impact their success in the future. So another quote that is in the article from the National Association of State Boards of Education Advancing High School Literacy is from Matt Donaldson, who served on a financial literacy committee, and he noted the value of engaging those who see firsthand what knowledge graduates lack. So this includes classroom teachers, bankers, those who have daily interactions with these students. He said, "A banker can tell you very easily if someone understands the fundamentals of credit or how to write a check or the difference between a debit and a credit card," said Donaldson. You need to start there to understand what kids are not understanding and then make sure that they're engaged. So that can be a starting point in your communities, is going to those teachers, going to those bankers, seeing what they have noticed kind of from district to district, school to school. Where is the problem starting? And so that will later tell us where we can go to fix that problem. So this is just addressing who gets that education and who doesn't. Because like I said, even if the district has a program out, that doesn't mean that every school and every student is going to get that adequate. So in states without requirements, only 1 to 10 students take that course. And in schools with mostly Black and Hispanic populations, the rate of access is half than other schools. So I think to equalize that, there needs to be a mandatory requirement to ensure that financial success is not determined by a student's zip code or background. So to do that, focus on the 6 pillars of the national standards, which is earning, spending, saving, investing, managing credit, and managing risk. So training your teachers to have adequate education, because it's like a landslide. Once your teachers know all they need to know, it can directly affect the student's success as well. This isn't just one subject, and every student, whether going to college, trade school, or the workforce, will absolutely need financial literacy in their life at some point. So I think it's really important to start there to see a change in the future. But yeah, that is my advocacy, is I would love to see more financial literacy.